There's a label in every NBA draft called the raw athlete, the guy with absurd burst and a 40-inch vertical who can jump out of the gym, but can't shoot a jumper to save his life.
He poked it away. Here comes a man. Thompson 1-on-4.
There you go.
And history shows that for every one of those players who becomes a star, 10 more fade away before they figure it out. So when Thompson entered the league, that was his narrative. Electrifying, explosive, but a project. Someone who was supposed to be years away from making a real impact. But here we are in year 3, and what is doing right now is a statement. Over the past few weeks, he has quietly become one of the most impactful young players in the NBA. Against Phoenix, he dropped 28 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds on 62% shooting while taking the toughest defensive assignments on the floor. And that's the thing with He's not flashing potential, he's torching defenses, locking up all-stars, and creating chaos on both ends. The project phase is over. The finished product is arriving way ahead of schedule, and the league better start paying attention. When the 25-26 NBA season tipped off, the Houston Rockets stumbled out of the gate with 2 straight losses. But instead of spiraling, they punched right back, barreling their way to a 12-4 record, one of the best starts in the league, and a massive reason for that turnaround has been the leap of third-year player Thompson. While Alperen Şengün and Kevin Durant are the established engines of the Rockets team, has been just as impactful. The difference is that his impact has evolved as the season progressed. In October, played 4 games and averaged 14.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, and a steal. But his efficiency showed room for improvement. He shot 45.8% from the field, 70% from the free throw line, and 0% from 3, missing all 10 attempts from beyond the arc. His overall efficiency for the month resulted in a 51% true shooting percentage. Fast forward to November, and it's almost like a different player showed up. Through 12 games this month, is averaging 18.4 points, 7.4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1.6 steals per game. And the efficiency has jumped across the board. He's shooting 48.4% from the field, 84.1% from the line, and a much improved 30.8% from 3, improving his true shooting percentage to 54.9%. So, the production is up, the efficiency is up, and the impact is undeniable. This has been the story of Thompson in his 3rd NBA season. He's shown clear, significant improvement from last year and has emerged as one of the most exciting two-way players in the league. At 6'7", with elite athleticism, he remains a force on the defensive end, but the development of his offensive game has been just as noteworthy. He's on pace to increase his scoring average for a 2nd consecutive season.
Into Şengün. Over the top!
As a rookie, he averaged 9.5 points per game, then jumped to 14.1 in his 2nd year, and now sits at 17.4 points per game through 16 appearances in 25-26. His free throw shooting has taken a major step as well, rising from 68.4% last season to 79.7% this year, a promising indicator for the long-term stability of his jumper. His 22.2% mark from 3 still limits parts of his offensive impact, but the improvement at the line suggests continued growth is possible. Despite the limitations from beyond the arc, Thompson owns the highest net rating differential on the team. Houston outscores opponents by over 10 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. That production is expected, given how much responsibility he carries. He consistently guards the opponent's best player, and his versatility, defending wings, rebounding, pushing the break, and initiating offense has made him indispensable. Thompson's evolution from promising draft pick to two-way cornerstone has become one of the driving forces behind Houston's resurgence. His improving offense, relentless energy, defensive range, and willingness to handle the less glamorous parts of the game have helped turn the Rockets into a legit contender. But if there's any true measure of how significant Thompson's impact has been on the Rockets this season, it shows up in the moments when he's taken control and carried the team. The first clear example came early in November against the Mavericks, when he posted a then season high 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists on 61% shooting, leading Houston to a 110-102 victory. He followed that performance immediately with an even bigger outing against the Grizzlies. In that game, Thompson recorded 28 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals, shooting 50% from the field and 33% from 3, establishing himself as the best player on the floor. His versatility showed up again later in the month against the Cavs, where he put together 12 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals, a defensive showcase and another example of the all-round value he brings every night.
Good shooter. Crossover, what a play, and the dunk, working over the rookie.
His most impressive performance of the season came more recently against the Phoenix Suns, a game Houston played without Kevin Durant due to personal commitments. Thompson stepped into the void and delivered 28 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, shooting 1 for 1 from 3 and 7 for 7 from the line in 37 minutes. In that matchup, he controlled the perimeter defensively, slowed down Phoenix top creators, and operated as one of Houston's primary offensive engines. His unique blend of speed, strength, and elite deceleration consistently created advantages, showcasing a profile that very few defenders in the league can handle. And so, these performances highlight how Thompson's growth has directly translated into wins and how essential he has become to Houston's success. But what makes this stretch even more impressive is how seamlessly Thompson has stepped into a larger role without disrupting Houston's offensive rhythm. One of his most valuable traits is his ability to push the ball downhill and pressure the rim. His finishing has been inconsistent at times, but over the past few games, he has regained his effectiveness around the basket. He's also returned to taking more pull-up mid-range jumpers, currently a more reliable option for him than the three-point shot. When Thompson is scoring, it immediately expands the floor for the rest of the team. His downhill pressure creates open looks on the perimeter for strong shooters like Şengün, Smith Jr., and Reed Shepherd. On nights without KD, Houston needed a player capable of absorbing more offensive responsibility, and Thompson embraced that role with poise of a far more experienced player. Performances like these also show how dramatically he raises the Rockets' floor. When Thompson is assertive, Houston gains another player who can collapse a defense, finish through contact, and generate advantages without relying on structured sets. That level of versatility shifts the momentum of games, and it's a major reason why the coaching staff continues to trust him with heavy minutes in clutch situations. And this level of trust Thompson earns from Houston's staff comes directly from the baseline value he brings, something very few players in the league can replicate. Through his first 2 seasons, the NBA quickly learned who Amen Thompson was, an outrageous athlete and a defensive menace capable of producing highlight-level plays on an almost nightly basis. Last season, he fully broke out on that end of the floor, earning serious consideration for Defensive Player of the Year and securing a spot on the NBA All-Defensive Team. Still, many of the concerns that followed him into the draft remained present. His shooting was unreliable, and at times his mechanics completely fell apart. And while his long-term trajectory as a devastating cutter and rim runner paired with elite roaming defense already hinted at a potential star, this season has shown that Thompson's ceiling reaches far beyond that projection. His play in year 3 indicates a shift toward becoming one of the most well-rounded players in the league. Thompson has taken exponential steps forward, evolving into an elite defender, a high-level playmaker, and a dynamic slasher who can generate offense in bursts. Instead of being defined by his weaknesses, he is now shaping games through his versatility, impact, and constant pressure, proof that he's becoming much more than the athlete scouts once viewed as a long-term project. After his best performance of the season, former teammate Dylan Brooks summed up Thompson's rise perfectly, saying, "His growth has been tremendous. He was a great player for the years I was there, and now he's a two-way player. He knows how to score in the paint, and he guards the best player every night." And Brooks is right. Thompson's size, burst, and defensive versatility immediately change the dynamic of any game he's in. Rockets fans understand that Amen isn't just an explosive scorer, he's a multi-dimensional weapon who makes life harder for every opponent on the floor. Offensively, Houston entered this season knowing that if they were going to compete for a championship, they needed players who could operate off the gravity of their two stars. Opposing defenses are going to load up on Şengün and Durant, and when that happens, secondary scorers must be able to punish the gaps. Thompson's elite cutting, timing, and rim finishing have made him the perfect pressure release option in those scenarios. But there's another layer to his game that's beginning to reveal itself: his jumper outside of the paint. While he's shooting 47.6% from the field on increased volume, a promising sign, the real story is the improvement in his three-point shooting throughout November. It's not polished yet, but it's trending upward, and the mechanics are becoming more consistent. Performances like the one he delivered against Phoenix show what happens when all these elements come together. Suddenly, he's not just a slasher, he becomes a full-blown offensive threat. His ability to change speeds, absorb contact, and contort his body mid-air creates angles that most defenders can't handle. In transition, it's reminiscent of Giannis, that moment when defenders realize they're in trouble and instantly fall into that frantic oh shit backpedal. At that point, you're either scrambling to avoid getting caught in a compromised position that leads to a foul, or you're forced to meet him early at the point of attack to avoid giving up a straight line drive. And neither option feels safe. And on the defensive end, Thompson is still a major presence this season. He hasn't fully hit the relentless form that earned him first-team All-Defense last year, but he remains someone the Rockets can trust to take the toughest matchups and protect the rim with his length and quickness. He's averaging 1.4 steals and 0.4 blocks, and his ability to take the ball from virtually any player he guards continues to stand out. His 7-foot wingspan shows up everywhere. He blocks shots at the rim and the perimeter with surprising ease, and his versatility allows him to guard positions 1 through 4 while disrupting entire offensive sets. That defensive range is a stabilizing force for Houston, especially in tight stretches. When you combine all of that with the growth in his offensive game, Thompson becomes even more important to the Rockets' long-term outlook. He has already proven he can make high-level contributions defensively whenever it's needed, but as his unconventional yet effective offensive style continues trending upward, he's inching closer to becoming a player who's impossible to game plan against, and Houston is benefiting from every step of that evolution. And that's the reality for Amen Thompson based on the trajectory he's on. He's no longer a wait-and-see prospect, he has arrived, and the Rockets aren't just planning for tomorrow anymore, they're winning right now. Thompson is a major reason for that, and considering he's only in his third year, the more reps he gets, the more dangerous he becomes. In a league increasingly shaped by three-point shooting, Thompson breaks the mold of what a modern NBA player is supposed to look like. Yet he remains one of the most impactful players in the league. The scouting report on him from 2023 labelled him a long-term project, a fair assessment at the time for a player who bypassed college and international competition to play in overtime elite, a league viewed as far below both. But in less than 3 full seasons, Amen Thompson has established himself as a legit two-way force for Houston, and if he continues at this pace, the conversation may shift from his potential to the possibility that he becomes one of the best, if not the best, two-way player in the NBA. So what do you think Amen Thompson's ceiling really is? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're feeling this kind of content, hit that like button and check out one of these videos next.